Some of you will know right off when I say the name Phil Vischer that I'm talking about the guy that created VeggieTales and I believe was the voice of the tomato on that vegetable show. You'll know who he is right off, and maybe you'll also know that he has a podcast called The Holy Post, which is a bastion of progressive Christian thought in almost every way you can think of. And that was certainly what took place when he made some comments on his Holy Post about the overturning of Roe v. Wade before it was overturned. Prior to Donald Trump being elected, I think around 2016, the Holy Post made a video about Roe v. Wade and how overturning it really wouldn't make that much of a difference. So here's Phil Vischer giving us his very bad take on abortion.
I was in high school in the early 1980s when evangelical Christians first started focusing on abortion. And the one thing we all agreed on was that overturning Roe versus Wade was the key to reducing abortion in America. 40 years later, we still haven't overturned Roe. Today, some pro-life evangelical Christians are asking whether this is still the right focus of so much of our attention. Is overturning Roe the key to reducing abortion? Our friend David French made an argument that really got us thinking. And when my podcast co-host, Skye Jitani, echoed that argument on Twitter, people said, hey, you should make a video about that. So, we did. Here's my buddy Skye trying to answer the question, is overturning Roe versus Wade the key to reducing abortion in America? And if it isn't, what is? It's okay if you disagree, but it's worth having the conversation. Okay? Here it is.
For almost 50 years, Christians have been told that who you support for president will either save or sacrifice the lives of unborn babies. This has led a lot of pro-life Christians to become single-issue voters, willing to overlook everything else about a candidate as long as they're against abortion. When a candidate's bad character or unchristian policies are brought up, the response is often, yeah, but abortion.
Well, I am pleased to announce that Phil Vischer could not have been more wrong. And this comes to us from the Daily Citizen. Quote, according to the #WeCount project funded by the Society for Family Planning, a Denver-based pro-abortion nonprofit. By the way, I will never get over the fact that people who plan families ironically terminate babies. But the article goes on to say this: there were 10,570 fewer abortions in the U.S. in July and August following the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So 2 months after Roe v. Wade was overturned, there were more than 10,000 babies that were saved following the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So thankfully, Phil Vischer was wrong about the overturning of Roe v. Wade, much like he has been everything that he's said on his show since. Now, but think about that. Let this set in. I specifically chose an older article that was just about the first 2 months after Roe was overturned so that the gravity of what just took place in our society could really set in. Over 10,000 babies were saved from abortion clinics since the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So much for saying the culture wars don't matter. Now, by and large, Christians have sat on the fence on this issue and even said things like this: well, I'm pro-choice, because of rape, incest, and all that stuff, but I'm not pro-abortion, as if you could actually be pro-choice but not pro-abortion. Or more importantly, many Christians sit over far on the right on this issue and believe that abortion is bad, but are closed-mouthed about it. It is because we made it socially acceptable to stand up for the lives of the unborn that Roe v. Wade was even overturned in the first place. See, things in society are changing because people are taking a stand, and our world is better for it. Which, case in point, this is what Focus on the Family just recently did in a campaign that I'll say pokes fun at the euphemism of calling a baby a fetus in the womb, because it is totally ridiculous, the euphemisms we use to try to make abortion more tolerable. But thankfully, Focus on the Family has been in the fight for a long time and is standing up for the unborn. So I want you to see this new ad campaign, It's a Baby, for yourself. Check it out.
Well?
It's positive. We're having a fetus.
Having a fetus?
We're having a fetus.
And here we are.
Would you look at that?
Hi, fetus.
Hey, got names yet?
For the fetus? We've got a few we like.
Focus on the Family would like to remind you that no matter where you are on your pregnancy journey,
It's almost here. Keep pushing. Your fetus is doing great.
call it what you want. But the truth does not change.
You want to feel the fetus kick?
It's a baby.
It's still a baby.
By the way, that film was made by somebody that I know, great guy, Phil Cook, and his media team. And I hope you remember that film every single time somebody tries to use a euphemism like a fetus with you or a clump of cells, and that you insist on them understanding that that clump of cells, that fetus inside of their body is a baby. And it is ridiculous for us to accept the presuppositions of the left in our everyday lives. And I think this film does a great job of exposing the fact that the culture really does influence and shape the way we think on these issues. And especially if you're a Christian, we cannot afford to let that happen. Because on the other flip side of this thing, the opposition, those who do not stand for real values and morality in society, they can't afford not to stand for what is right if we don't let them. As a result of boycotts, Target has lost $10 billion, probably even more than that as of late because they're hemorrhaging money left and right. Bud Light has lost $15 billion. Starbucks nationwide pulled all of their pride decorations during the month of June. Starbucks, guys, one of the most woke companies on the planet, has succumbed to some of what is happening in the culture because Christians are willing to stand. Now listen, we've won some great victories as a result. The overturning of Roe v. Wade needs to be celebrated consistently, and we need to remember that what happened there can consistently happen in other areas, and lives can be saved as a result of it. But the battle isn't over. Just the other day, James Lindsay posted this about Planned Parenthood and said that Planned Parenthood is pivoting from abortions as their main source of revenue and going to hormone blockers and the distribution of cross-sex hormones, which, yes, if you're wondering, is also being given to minors. So you see, the battle isn't over. We've just got another battlefront yet ahead because Planned Parenthood is starting to move away from abortion because we've taken that option away from them. And now they're moving into giving cross-sex hormones to people who come in to, again, a Planned Parenthood. How do you plan parenthood when you are basically butchering the very hormones and body parts that create children? Of course, we see yet again the glaring hypocrisy of Planned Parenthood and the big shop of horrors that it actually is. It's not interested in planning anyone's parenthood. It's interested in making money off of your body. And we have to win. So I have one question for you. We are winning as conservatives. We are winning as Christians, and the world is better for it. So which side of history do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the bleeding heart side of history and show how empathetic you are or sympathetic? Or would you rather win souls and save lives? As for me, I'm going to be on the latter part, the right side of that, and I hope you make the right decision too. We are winning, and we need your help. So don't get battle weary, stay in the fight, stand for truth. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, go with God. So you just got done watching a small excerpt of a much larger episode. You can find the link to that full episode down below in the description of this video. So you definitely want to check that out because if you like that clip, you'll like the much larger episode. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell to be notified when great new episodes of Indie Thinker come your way. Thanks for watching.